2020 is certainly turning into a year of never befores and keeping us all on the edge of our seats. If it wasn't enough that we're dealing with a global pandemic and a host of other issues, there are cyclones to boost as well. Just a couple of weeks after Cyclone Amphan hit the east coast of India, we are now facing at a possible landfall from Cyclone Nisarg. The big headline out of Cyclone Nisarg is that it may see a landfall in Mumbai, and for Mumbai city that's going to be a first in over 100 years for a cyclone to actually hit this city. Now, a lot of panic out there, a lot of stuff you will possibly be hearing and seeing on WhatsApp, other forwards, videos, but we want to cut all the clutter for you and get you authentic information. So I'm joined now by Jatin Singh, CEO of Skymet. Jatin, great to have you on the show. Explain to us how scary is Cyclone Nisarg?
You see, I don't want to build this up, so let me start the other way. Cyclone Amphan was a Cat 5 cyclone where winds would go up to 180 kilometers per hour. In comparison to that, this is a cyclonic storm. It's already been declared a cyclonic storm. The IMD says that this will turn into severe cyclonic storm. It'll probably be edged, but I think by the time it makes landfall, it will weaken a bit and become, that is my estimate, become a cyclonic storm, in which case winds will be 100 kilometers per hour. So it's 4 orders of magnitude, if I might abuse the term, smaller than Amphan. And I think it's something that the city will be able to negotiate. But the problem I have two things that I would like for people of Mumbai, Maharashtra to know. One, I think the red alert has been issued very late. It was issued yesterday. If you look at my tweets, I warned about this 5 days ago. So we could have given the city more time. Two, the west coast states, especially Maharashtra, apart from Gujarat, is not used to dealing with cyclones. So the resilience and expectations to what a cyclone can do is very limited as opposed to Odisha, Andhra, and West Bengal. So, you've had, it seems that it's going to be, the landfall will be tomorrow afternoon, evening between Dahanu and Raigad. And it's going to be very close to Mumbai. It might be right into Mumbai. There's a chance of that happening. So the key thing is, how many people can you actually evacuate from low-lying areas? Millions live in low-lying areas that, the slums and the poor neighborhoods that abut, the coast. You see that all the time. And as the sea surge is going to come in, the surge of a cyclone is going to be at 30 feet. And we all know what happens at high tide. And combine that with high tide and low tide, all that water will start going into these areas. We know what is the state of the Mithi River. Plus, there is precipitation. We're looking at triple-digit precipitation in Mumbai tomorrow. And we're looking at high wind and gust, about 100 kilometers per hour. We saw what happened in West Bengal, the kind of trees that got uprooted. The strength is not going to be there, but, is Mumbai prepared? Have all the unnecessary wires being taken out? We are pruning trees, but did we have enough time to prune the trees as much as we needed? What about the electrical poles? What about the gigantic commercial hoardings that are there? They're still there. So, I suspect that there probably would be some power outages also.
Okay, so it's, it is sounding pretty terrifying, Jatin, to be honest. And I think what it boils down to is preparation. So as I understand it, if it hits closer to Mumbai, we are in more trouble because dense populations, low-lying areas, and not enough preparation we have to deal with cyclones. What's the best case scenario?
Best case scenario is it hits, but it moves very fast. You see, all of us are giving estimates, okay, and it keeps on changing. And it is going to go through Mumbai. So if it is only the second, it comes in on the 3rd, and it moves in a couple of hours and goes towards Northern Maharashtra and MP, that is a good thing. If it slows down because of the ghats and it stays there, then that would be a problem. And see, these things, you could get tremendous amount of rain within an hour or so. And if it moves fairly quickly and gets outside the city, then you're through that.
From a disaster relief perspective, and I want to widen this to the western coast of India. I mean, we have viewers all over the country and in many parts of the world. So from a wider perspective, we are seeing Maharashtra, Gujarat, Goa, the most vulnerable right now. But this is also coming at a time when, you know, local authorities are already dealing with COVID-19 and that situation. How does this work? How does disaster relief work in a situation like this? Will there be more challenges, or is it in a sense better because everyone's already at home?
Everyone is already at home, but 42% of Mumbai's population lives in slums, which is kacha construction, who have no access to sanitation, who have had, there's no way that they could have done social distancing. I'm not even talking about, I dread to think that are there fishermen who had left the coast and have not been able to come back on time. I don't know if there are any numbers on that. I hope that is not the situation and a warning was sent on time. But what if, and that happened in Cyclone Oki in Kerala, where hundreds of fishermen were left dead and the Navy had to pull their bodies from the Indian Ocean. I mean, that is something that we need to think about. I hope that has not happened. And in terms, it is the, you know, it is the poor and the downtrodden and ones who have very little access to healthcare, don't know if the NDRF will be able to reach them. If they are shifted, anyway, the livelihoods are gone. How long will they shift it for? What will they come back to? You know, if you're living in Pakka construction, you're living in a house or an apartment, it is inconvenient. But if you're out there, you know where the Mithi River comes and where the drains are there, and the drains, if the desilting is just not being good enough, what are we going to do?
Absolutely. Well, let's hope for the best. It's difficult to predict. Of course, the best man to predict is with us right now. So, Jatin, thanks for joining us and giving us that heads up. Brace yourself over the next 48 hours for all those on the western coast, and of course, hopefully Mumbai city, which seems particularly vulnerable, will brave this through. We'll take a very short break on the show. When we come back, an exclusive interview with Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat and how it doesn't mean that India shuts itself from the rest of the world. That interview up next.